Well, actually, speaking of Reinhardt's and some players you want to keep an eye on in this upcoming match, we have France playing first, and they feature Mickalow, who's been spectacular. They're going up against Russia, though, and you mentioned ShaDowBurn being a huge factor in this matchup. What are the other factors for this team?
Yeah, we should talk about Anak, actually, the man that came in as the replacement. He has been fantastic. He is a magnificent Xayah player, obviously, coming in, and also the shot caller for Russia, and he really seems to have pulled this team together and really made them impressive. And we should probably mention uNFixed, because uNFixed is like this hidden quantity that's come in here. He would slowly move towards a DPS role in Reunited, his actual team, and he seems to be excelling at it here in Russia.
Yeah, he's been moving towards that hit scan DPS role, and it's really worked out well for them. They have a pretty interesting strategy going into this. We see, of course, Anak is the Xayah player in this team, but sometimes to go towards that triple DPS composition, we don't see quite a lot. So we can see the Reaper, the McCree, and the Genji work together, and it's really interesting looking at this team.
Well, they're going to be going up against France, as we said, and this is not going to be easy for them. France, one of those teams that didn't come in with a full roster of professional players. A lot of fan votes, community members, a caster or two on the team. What is so special about them that they've been able to make it so far in this competition?
I mean, France have been challenged at every step of the way. There's been no easy games for this team, and they've had to put a lot of work into developing their team and having the roles sort of set. They had a big identity crisis coming into this one here. We actually saw Mickalow playing a bit more of that damage role. He was then shifted towards the tank, and his Reinhardt was actually a huge factor in what allowed France to overcome the tiebreaker phase. We saw Kryw decide, oh, do I play Xayah, do I play McCree? We saw him eventually settle on that McCree and let Nox play Xayah. This has worked really well. And I think France are looking at their top flight right now. However, I don't think Russia need to be at their best to beat them here. Their caliber, their pedigree is just a bit higher pound for pound.
Yeah, Nox has had a lot of work to do with this team. Obviously, he's been the man that's pulling them all together. He's played support, he's played DPS, he's played Xayah, the flex stacks. He literally has had to play everything to try and pull France through.
Yeah, and credit where credit is due. You know, he's done a good job getting this France team together. It's going to be a very tough matchup going up against Russia. They don't really have that McCree player. And that's when we saw the Russia versus USA matchup. You know, your gods was amazing on McCree throughout that matchup. He
had to be.
He had to be. And that's how he really defeats ShaDowBurn, the big end boss in this Russia team. So it's going to be exciting to see if they can successfully shut him down.
Well, boys, Russia, France, do you have any predictions you'd like to share for this matchup?
I think Russia are going to take it. I don't know whether it's going to be a straight 2-0, though. I feel France may pull something out, but it's, I don't know how much they're going to get knocked. If they get clean sweeped in the first map, I don't know how much their morale is going to be down. I managed to speak to them before we got here. They feel that they're underdogs, so they got no pressure on them whatsoever. So that's a good sign. They can play just without pressure and it just play the natural game.
Yeah, I think the Frenchmen will struggle. Russia 2-0.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to go with 2-0 for Russia.
Okay, let's see how it all plays out. France has surprised us before, and they might be able to do it again. So let's hand it over to our casters, Mr. X and ZP, to get things started.
Thank you, Rachel. Our first match of the Overwatch World Cup here live from Bilzzcon is going to feature a tremendous player, really standout player so far of the tournament. It's going to be ShaDowBurn's Russia. Russia's ShaDowBurn. ShaDowBurn's Russia. We had to get that one in there. But I look at this matchup, and both teams so drastically different builds, right? I mean, you know, France comes in, fantastic teamwork, right? They like to stay close together, coordinate attacks. Russia, they rely on that star power.
And the real test here for France will be, will they be able to take out ShaDowBurn? It's been rough for every other team that has gone up against Russia, and for France, it is do or die here. They're going to have to find that answer, lest ShaDowBurn just roll right over them.
Yeah, and it'll be a best-of-3 series. The first map will be Temple of Anubis. Eichenwald will be map number 2, and if we need that third map, it will be Li장tawo. So getting into this first one, Temple of Anubis. This is one where, you know, Genji can be extremely effective, ZP.
Absolutely. There's a lot of terrain that Genji can use to its advantage here, and if you get through point A very quickly, you might have a Dragon Blade up to just sweep through point B, so a lot of outs here.
Yeah, I'm looking to see when Russia's on offense, if ShaDowBurn can get behind enemy lines, really just put the pressure on the side of France. But France has had some really good tank play. I feel like they may not have that McCree standout player that'll be able to shut down ShaDowBurn, but they may have the advantage in the tanks.
They might very well have the advantage in tanks. Certainly, we've seen Mickalow have a good series here in all the games France has played thus far. And for Kryw, it's been interesting because Kryw has really had the flex back and forth. He's a very flexible player, one of the top players in the pro scene, but he's really had the stretch to sort of fill France's weaknesses. And while he's done okay on McCree, I'm not sure he's going to be able to shut down ShaDowBurn the way that a Gods could.
I mean, Gods played phenomenal in that USA-Russia matchup, and it was not enough to shut down ShaDowBurn. Now we'll see Russia on the defense here, and they will be going with, you know, well, it looked like they were going to actually do the 3 DPS. They actually switch out from a Mei over to Zarya, so they'll be running that double tank, double support, double DPS. They'll be unfixed on McCree. From Milan, though, ShaDowBurn has really surprised me as Zarya, coming in as that late addition to this team, really has played well. On the side of France, be interesting to see if they run. Okay, no, they're going to switch off the Pharah. They're going to go with McCree, but our first match getting underway. It'll be France versus Russia with France on offense.
And what you have to like here about this France set is that they are running McCree to deal ShaDowBurn, but they're also running the Winston, where Winston, great for those engagements, but also good at applying pressure to a Genji. You cannot deflect his gigantic laser cannon that Winston wields, so it's pretty good. And here comes the first fight.
Yeah, you cannot deflect a laser. It's going to be an attack here from France, just trying to force the side from Russia down from this high ground. And you're going to see a lot of teams attempt to do this, and it's going to be Mickalow getting very low. ShaDowBurn putting down a lot of damage. He's going to track back, try and take out DeGuN. It's going to be 2 kills going in favor of Russia here early, and not good first push from France. I like the idea and the strategy, though, ZP. What do you think they need to fix next time?
What they need to fix next time is that they definitely need to go in with Mickalow a little bit more. Mickalow was a little bit far ahead, was punished and pushed out, and Russia was able to deal with it. The problem here for France going forward is that Russia, because they had that good first fight, ultimates are coming up online. They're going to have Nano Boost up soon. They have Deadeye, and that Nano Boost very well could be going right on to ShaDowBurn.
Yeah, you'll see ShaDowBurn getting closer and closer to that Dragon Blade, and you do have uNFixed with the Deadeye. He's going to go set up in a top position with McCree. The side of France, they're going to go and try and take that left room now, and they're going to put pressure on the bridge. You're actually going to see the Winston jump up top, so they're going to try and put pressure on Rubikon, knock him down. It's going to be 2 kills, though, with the Deadeye from uNFixed. He is going to have Mickalow charging at him. Nice job there, getting the health package. 2 players on his screen, able to get one. Not going to be able to take out DeGuN, but the damage has been done. It's going to be Russia winning this team fight. DeGuN just going to give his life away there, going to reset for the rest of the squad.
And that's unfortunate for DeGuN. If DeGuN was somehow able to get away there would have been a brief moment where France might have had a 6v5. Running back as McCree takes a long time here in Temple of Anubis. You spawn all the way back at point B, you have to hoof it, and McCree not necessarily known for his speed. Take a look at France here. Their ultimate bank almost fully charged. They're going to have the Graviton into Nano Boost in the Dragon Blade. So for France, this is their perfect window of opportunity, and here they go.
Yeah, when you see DeGuN go high in the sky, you expect to bring the Dragon Blade out. He's going to be able to get 2, slices through Zarya. Not enough to finish off ANAC, though. He's going to go up top, taking an interesting route here, doing a lot of damage. France, though, they're trying to get on the point, ZP. It is not working at this moment. It's a very good hold here from Russia.
The problem is that even as DeGuN went to the backline, ShaDowBurn went to the backline turn, but it is France able to get the last little bit of cleanup there despite ShaDowBurn's heroics, which means that France will be getting this first point. Russia's not going to be able to get back here in time, but still, they dragged out 2.5 minutes here, X. That's a pretty good position to be in.
Yeah, and you will see France for this next fight. They will have a sound barrier. See Mickalow, he'll get back to the spawn. He'll go to a Reinhardt. Reinhardt better for this second point, trying to get over towards B. It's going to be France still on the attack. See, they do not have any of their DPS ultimate abilities up. Russia does have that Graviton Surge, nothing to combine with it on the defensive side of things. This is where France really needs to take advantage, ZP. When you have to attack this B point early, you got to rush in, you got to take advantage.
Absolutely, and they will be using that sound barrier there. It might get neutralized a bit by the Graviton, but here we go. What we're seeing here is France moving in, the Graviton coming in from Russia. They immediately take down Kryw. 2 quick kills here from Russia, and X, anytime your offense loses a few people early on when going on point B, it's almost impossible to bring it back.
Yeah, you're going to have to fall back here. I mean, DeGuN, he does get the Dragon Blade, and they actually do save, though. France saves the sound barrier, so they did not use that in the last fight. You're going to see Kryw going to switch over. He's going to be going with Pharah, and I think that's because uNFixed switches over to Mei. So as soon as they see the Mei on the side of Russia, McCree, not a good option there. They're going to switch over to Pharah.
They are going to be switching over to Pharah, and remember, here's the key for those who are watching, is that you must effectively flawless victory this. If you lose 1 or 2 people early on, it's very tough to take the point. So for France, the goal is get a pick off, be conservative, just slowly grind out the point. If you go in too hastily and lose some people, it's not going to work out in your favor. But DeGuN here at the Dragon Blade, Nano Boost on deck, so is sound barrier. ShaDowBurn, though, gets that back and takes out KnOxXx, and that is not a great start to this fight.
Yeah, once that happens, I mean, France can't really do anything. I mean, Russia just getting 2 big kills there from ShaDowBurn, and now you look, I mean, Russia is stacking these ultimates, ZP. It's going to make it very difficult because France are obviously going to have to use some ultimates to get in. Russia's just going to be able to counter that, obviously, with more, and then it's just going to start spiraling and spiraling in favor of Russia. So France really needs a good team fight here, potentially save some ultimates, bait some of the ones on Russia out.
If they could bait out Blizzard, it'd be great, because even when you have a full array of ultimates, getting through that Blizzard can be so difficult. And here we go, next fight underway. ShaDowBurn with the Nano Boost. Dragon Blade to the backline X.
Yeah,
he hasn't got much yet.
Yeah, it's going to be the sound barrier, though, coming out from the side of France, so it's going to keep their members alive. But that Blizzard towards the end of the fight, it's going to be France just getting cleaned up here by the side of Russia. And ZP, even though France going to lose this, Kryw's actually going to use his rocket barrage there, but I'd like to see him hold on to that. It does look like you're going to see Russia hold on, but here comes France. They're still trying to play for this point. And I don't know how much I like this. They do waste a lot of the ultimates on the side of Russia, though.
This is the trap of Point B Temple of Anubis, where you think you're winning. You've gotten some good kills. Kryw was able to take out 3 people. Unfortunately, his team died behind him. Respawns are coming in quickly. France is fighting here, but they're not going to get anything off of this until they have the full reset. Russia will be ejecting them from this point.
Yeah, and France uses some ultimates there towards the end, and it's very difficult to kind of tell when you're winning this fight, right? You almost need a team kill right at the beginning because the reinforcements come in so fast on the defensive side of things, and now you're just letting Russia build up those ultimates yet again. They're going to have a Graviton Surge and a Nano Boost for the next fight.
Both teams going to have Nano Boost outs for this next fight. You see Kryw right now just going in over the top, trying to build up another barrage. Russia being pretty aggressive here, pushing right in to France, not waiting. The Graviton surges in, and that is a party.
Yeah, and that catches 3 in the Graviton. It's going to be Russia not able to get any kills off of it. You're going to see the Nano Boost come out for the side of France. It's going to be DeGuN with the Dragon Blade slicing through 2. And here is where you can see France take advantage. DeGuN trying to push for the backlines. Needs to take out Rubikon here because Rubikon has the Nano Boost. So as soon as they get him out, not going to be in the next fight.
And look at this. It's France able to pierce through, capture Point B. They catch Russia off guard. Russia went for that Graviton X. They didn't get what they were looking for. Now France, with a great opportunity to really take this map here in Temple Anubis, I think Russia caught a little bit off guard.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, that they were able to just break in right there because you saw the Graviton Surge come in from Russia, and as soon as they get nothing out of it, you see the Dragon Blade Nano Boost combination come in from the side of France, and they're able to take that second point. The minute 55 remaining. So a very good time here on Temple of Anubis.
It is very good, and I kind of mentioned to start this fight, Russia seemed like they're getting very aggressive there, which sometimes it can work out, but honestly, it's better if you let the other team come to you a little bit more. They overextended. No one on France died, and France was able to turn the tables with some ultimate usage of their own, and now Russia, they're going to have to not only complete the map, but they're going to want to do it in a decent time.
Yeah, now Russia, they're really going to rely on ShaDowBurn here to break through. Let's go to a quick interview with ShaDowBurn earlier in the week to get his thoughts on the Overwatch World Cup.
My name is George Busha. My nickname is ShaDowBurn, and I'm mainly playing DPS for Team Russia. My main focus in the game, just get their supports and to flank and surprise them. Right after I kill their supports, it's really easy to kill the whole team. The most important thing to know how to play at my level is just you should know when you should swap to different hero to not be countered by enemy team. I'm really proud to represent my country.
We've seen ShaDowBurn a few times have to switch off of that Genji, but when he does, goes over to Reaper. I think definitely much rather have him on Genji if you are Russia. We will see Russia now on offense, and just look at their composition, ZP. It looks like they're going to be pretty aggressive.
They're going with the double flanker. Both Genji and Tracer, played by ShaDowBurn and uNFixed, will be going to the backline, looking at those early pickoffs and let Russia snowball their advantage. And France here, interestingly enough, they're not running Kryw. They are running the defensive Winston, they're running defensive Mei, but this could be a little bit of a playground here for ShaDowBurn because all he really has to worry about is that Winston being played by Nox.
Yeah, if they can get Nox out of the equation, you look for Russia to just storm onto the point. And then the side of France really has nothing to do with ShaDowBurn. He's going to go up top. Going to try and put some damage down on that Reinhardt shield, and you see right away he is going up top, just hunting down the supports of Team France. And you see ShaDowBurn just going to keep his life, and now he just becomes such a distraction that you see Russia, they're going to get 1 kill at the front. It's going to be Noxo taking out 2, and that's going to stop Russia's push, but that could have got dangerous there for France.
Absolutely, could have gotten dangerous, but for them, they don't give up any pickups, and that's exactly what you want in this early defense. Remember, it takes a really long time to run back, so for France, anytime someone dies, even if they trade out 1 for 1, it's not great. They need to do better than that, but for now, they've burned already about a minute off the clock. Russia coming back in once more.
But do you like how much space that France has given Russia? You see France actually going to get off of the bridge. They're going to be able to pick up 2 kills here, DP, make it 3 as they're going to stop Russia's attack, but I feel like eventually it's not going to work.
So it's not the greatest to give up that much space normally, although there it caught Russia off guard because usually if you think a wall's going to be coming in, you're going to expect it to come in from the front archway, but there, it came in a little bit further back. It completely split off Russia, and now take a look at Kryw up here on the top. Has the Death Blossom ready, X, and this could be big.
They have the Nano Boost to combine with it as well. This could be a death trap that Russia is walking into. If they start to push down towards this lower archway, look for Kryw to come down from above. cause a lot of chaos. And I wonder if ShaDowBurn actually sees Kryw on his screen. It's going to be Kryw dropping down with the Nano Boost and the Death Blossom. Gets nothing for it with the Death Blossom, but quickly gets out of it. Able to take out Redzzzz. It's going to be DeGuN taking out 2, pushing Russia all the way back towards their spawn. A fantastic hold there from France.
Absolutely, and then take a look at France's war chest right now. They did just use the Death Blossom and Nano Boost, but they have everything else up. Only 2 minutes remaining here for Russia. Russia, they do have one trump card here though, X. They have the Nano Boost and the Dragon Blade played by ShaDowBurn, but France, they have some tools to deal with this.
Yeah, and it's going to be ShaDowBurn with the Dragon Blade coming through. The Blizzard's going to come down though from France. DeGuN with a fabulous Blizzard there on the point. The Graviton though and Pulse Bomb combination comes in for the side of Russia. uNFixed gets 3, and here are where things unravel for France. It's going to be Russia on the point.
Just too many threats to be dealt with there. I mean, when you deal with ShaDowBurn coming in off the Nano Boost with the Dragon Blade, usually that's pretty good, right? But no, you have the Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb, the Big Bang combo, as it were, for the extra tower. And that's just great.
Yeah, such a devastating play. You see uNFixed come from behind, drops the Pulse Bomb, and I believe the Ana Grenade comes in there as well from Russia, so obviously France not able to heal through that. And it'll be Russia now attacking point B. 5 minutes as well on the clock. And on the side of France, you will see a composition change. You'll see D.Va come out from Nox.
And D.Va here, she is really survivable on the last point, can really make a lot of trouble, and she can sometimes eat big ultimates like a Graviton Surge, so we'll see how that pans out. ANAC right now not super close to that Graviton, but Earth Shatter Sound Barrier on the tail for both teams in Russia. They're going to be pushing this point right here, right now.
Yeah, and it's France giving Russia a lot of space, and here comes the Sound Barrier from the side of Russia. It's going to be ANAC trying to get onto the point. You see the Earth Shatter coming in from Russia there. They get nothing for it. ShaDowBurn on the point, though, picks up 1. His Reaper is causing a lot of problems. He's going to pick up a second one, but here comes a main Blizzard again from the side of France, and it's going to be DeGuN, Kitty, and Kryw cleaning up the side of Russia.
They absolutely are going to clean them up. About 4 minutes, 18 seconds left on the clock here. So France, they're going to have to hold for a while, but I like the composition they're running here. They do run the D.Va with the Mei. There's a lot of meat that Russia actually has to get through. And again, as we mentioned in the last round, you have to do it almost perfectly. So Russia, they're going to get maybe 5, 6 attempts at this, but France really has a real shot of taking this map right now.
Yeah, and I think that's why you see Russia go over to ShaDowBurn on Reaper and the Mei on uNFixed, because you know how close quarters and heavy the side of France is playing. So you do have Rubikon with the Nano Boost. See if he gives it to ShaDowBurn. ShaDowBurn working closer towards that Death Blossom, and uNFixed actually has a Blizzard now, so Russia has a lot of utility here to use, and here they come. You're going to see the Deadeye come in, and Rubikon connects there with that Sleep Dart. Now you're going to see the Blizzard come in as well from Russia. It's going to be ShaDowBurn on the point. He's going to have to go Wraith for him because that D.Va Bomb is about to go off. He dodges it, but the D.Va Bomb actually forces Russia off the point.
And here's the problem here for Russia. They've lost too many people. France is going to be able to just roll over them. Respawn's coming in. And even though ShaDowBurn is still in the back, still looking for kills, he is just completely outnumbered and outgunned. So it's going to be another hold here for France where, again, I think what you have to look here for Russia, they need to just do a few more junk rushes, try and drain ultimates out of France, preferably Blizzard. And after you get the Blizzard out, come in with 4 or 5 ultimates, try and make the most of it, get the point. They need 1 good attack. But again, X, time keeps counting down.
Yeah, for me, they really need to get this Blizzard off of DeGuN because they have the Nano Boost and Death Blossom combo. But as soon as Russia pops those abilities, you're going to see France just drop that Blizzard down. And Russia's not going to get anything for it. But here comes the Russia push. And you're going to see ShaDowBurn. He gets Nano Boosted, but falls there at the end. And now he's going to have to dart into the Blizzard, just trying to stay alive. And his teammates are falling. Everything going wrong here for Russia, ZP. They use the Nano Boost. They don't use the Death Blossom, so that's okay. But the fact that the Blizzard comes out, ShaDowBurn falls, can't get onto the point. Not a good push there for Russia.
No, not in the least. And again, for Russia, time's starting to be a real big concern. You take a look. France, by this point, they were on their game-winning push. Russia has 2 minutes and 13 seconds left, and who knows if they're going to be able to get through here. They will have a Blizzard in the next fight. They're really close to a Sound Barrier, but France, they have so many ultimates help mitigate as well. So for Russia, this is very difficult here where they have to hope that ShaDowBurn can get into the back line and create a miracle as the rest of them come in. But ShaDowBurn, he's being isolated by this France team.
And I don't know if you waste the Death Blossom here. You're getting very close to the Sound Barrier, and you're going to have an Earth Shatter. I feel like Russia can just try and bait some of these ultimates out on the side of France and then get a really good push going. You're going to see Kryw use the Deadeye. Redzzzz picks up 1, and as soon as Redzzzz gets that kill, here comes the push from Russia. They're going to use the Sound Barrier as well. ShaDowBurn inside the point, just trying to do damage here. The D.Va Bomb coming in from France, but all the kills going in favor of Russia. You're going to see Redzzzz there on the point, just swinging his hammer away. Rubikon picks up one. Here's where Russia can win it.
They can absolutely win it, and the problem for France is that AlphaCast, who had that sound barrier, got picked off early in the last fight, and it created this opportunity. There was no defensive sound barrier. Russia, they rolled right in, and now it's France against the ropes right now. It is Russia scoring the point. A last-moment Blizzard come out from DeGuN. It will force people back. Kryw gained the kill on Redzzzz, and suddenly, here comes France!
Oh, but ShaDowBurn with a big death blossom inside the point. He is there with uNFixed. And now you see the Maywalls coming up from the side of Russia with 56 seconds left. They take the second point.
Just as France was mounting their resurgence, and ShaDowBurn built up his ultimate, whirled into them. And Russia still alive here, but I gotta say, X, this is awfully close.
Oh, for a second there, it looked like France was coming back. As soon as they got that Blizzard on the point, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna be able to hold on. You saw they switch over to a little bit more of a stall comp. They get a Tracer there, and then ShaDowBurn just comes in, ruins France's plans. And now we will see in the time bank scenario, it does not look like Russia has much time left. I believe they have 59 seconds left. And now you will see France with a ton of time on the clock. So they're sitting pretty good here on our first map.
They are sitting pretty good, although I will say here's where one team can really come out and be super heroic, where it's difficult to get point A and point B with the amount of time that both teams have left, but more reasonable to get point A. But here's what we can see here. France could have a really good point A hold and then just set themselves up where they get point A and they win. Or it could be a case where both teams get point A, can't get to the end, and it's a draw. So we'll have to see how it works out. A lot of ways that this could go down still.
Yeah, and Russia's going to change their comp up if they stick with this on the offensive side of things. So we will not see ShaDowBurn if things hold true. Go with Genji here. He will be going with Reaper. It was very effective towards that second point, but do you feel like you need his Genji here with that early engage, especially with only 59 seconds?
I kind of would rather have ShaDowBurn here on Genji just because he is known for being so good on that hero without having Dragon Blade up, and he's built Dragon Blade up in the first fight, so it really could be a case where if he was playing Genji now, they would be able to take the first point, have Dragon Blade up for second, but ShaDowBurn going more for the tried and true, just the raw, crushing power of Reaper, try and get in the right position and just shoot down these tanks of France.
Yeah, I think the idea from Russia is that they knew France was going to be running that Winston, so to just shred through him, catch him off guard, they were going to have ShaDowBurn start things off on Reaper. He's going to try and teleport up top, go on a flank. It's going to be their Tracer getting on the point. uNFixed causing some noise here, just trying to force the side of France back. But here comes ShaDowBurn in a perfect position to do a lot of damage and then put a lot of shots there on Nox. He's going to have to jump out of the way. Mickalow, though, takes out ANAC, but that's a big kill. You see in your kill feed, it's going to be uNFixed taking out AlphaCast. So the French Lucio dropping right away at the beginning of this fight. And now I feel like Russia needs to take advantage.
Russia is definitely trying to take advantage. They're grinding down this France team, and AlphaCast, kind of the liability in the last two fights where he's got picked off early. They've been isolating the Lucio, and it's been creating these opportunities here for Russia as Russia moving in, but it's still very close and very tense in this point.
Huge play there by Mickalow. You saw the Death Blossom coming in from ShaDowBurn, a big Earth Shatter from the French. Reinhardt knocks him down, and he's not able to stay alive for long. And now you see Kryw popping a Death Blossom of his own, going to knock D.Va out of the mech. Redzzzz is dealt with quick, and this looks like France should be able to get an early hold here, ZP. Some nice defense. ShaDowBurn had an opportunity there, but some fantastic tank play from the side of France shuts that down.
France now in a golden position to take this first map right away from Russia. This is not what we expected coming in, but this France team has been surprising all along in this competition.
Yeah, I mean, it's really odd because we saw Russia, just their raw slaying potentially, sometimes running those 3 DPS comps, and they're just not able to outplay France here in our first matchup. And you see how even both teams are here. Temple of Anubis on the side of Russia, standout player to look at here in the stats department. It's actually uNFixed, 26 and 11. You have a 25 and 12 game out of ShaDowBurn thus far, so still very good. But DeGuN for the side of France going absolutely huge right now, playing a very effective Mei, who's 35 and 7.
Absolutely, and this is one of Mei's playgrounds. Just Temple of Anubis in general can be very good splitting people off on point A and is an absolute terror to get rid of on point B. And even using her offensively on point B, Blizzard just covers so much of an area that it's just a good, solid pick in general. But take a look here. It is Russia's defense against the wall. If they want to play for the draw here, they're going to have to hold France for 2 minutes. That means they're going to have to hold for about 3 to 4 pushes. It is possible, but France will have a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what France does does with their comp here. DeGuN actually stays on Widow. We've seen Widow do a lot of nice things on Temple of Anubis during the Overwatch World Cup thus far. We have not seen it from the side of France just yet. They're going to be running it at the beginning, so I think that has the opportunity to catch Russia completely off guard.
Absolutely, and I think here for Russia moving in, they just need to take this a little bit slow, back up a bit, don't let France get an early pickoff because of course DeGuN is running this Widowmaker. You have to be aware of sight lines. DeGuN so far not getting what he's looking for, and Russia's playing pretty well against this so far.
Oh, well, I mean, it's going to be France just trapped in a corner here. ShaDowBurn looked like he was in an opportunity to pick up a lot of kills, but he actually gets walled off there, and he's going to drop. It's going to be AlphaCast getting 2. So just like that, France gets the early advantage. They got to get on the point here, ZP. They have a great opportunity.
What sweet redemption for AlphaCast there, getting his revenge on Russia from some of the last team fights, moving in, and France now in a great position to take this point, and X just a little bit more. They'll be taking Temple Anubis away from Russia.
Yeah, and it's going to be Mickalow just trying to stop the enemy. Reinhardt coming through the gates. He's going to knock him back. Reds trying desperately to contest this point, and there's actually a fight still going back on it. It's going to be ShaDowBurn switching over to Genji, doing all he can. Mickalow knocks him into the sky, and that's going to be it. It's going to be France taking our first map here against Russia.
Oh my goodness, this is unexpected, but this is the Overwatch World Cup. We've been seeing story after story come out, and now France, one map away from sending Russia home.
And it is such a shocking outcome on map number 1. I mean, coming into this one, we expected Russia to just kind of go right through. You know, we expected this to be one of more lopsided matches of the day, but it does not seem that well. I mean, you know, France just played absolutely phenomenal there at the beginning. And let's learn a little bit more about France. We caught up with all the teams earlier this week. Let's actually, oh, well, it seems like we're taking a look with Russia. So let's take a look at Russia and see where they came from.
Team Russia is exciting to watch because they do have that core of high individually skilled players. They do have an enormous superstar in ShaDowBurn, and they're in a group with a whole lot of variation involved in it.
It means a lot for me. I'm really proud to present Team Russia.
Feels really good right now to play a really huge esport game. Obviously, if we win the whole tournament, then I would be incredibly proud.
Personally, I think almost every game that Russia is involved in this group stage should be a close one and should just be great for people to watch.
We're using this time to get as much practice as we can. Our main focus was getting 2 of our inexperienced players up to speed.
Just as always, you need to practice. It's really important to communicate with each other because, like, some heroes, they don't really frag people, but they help other heroes to frag. So it's really important to just talk with each other all the time. The key to our team's success is clean and simple execution.
We're just here to play good games and make Russia proud.
And Russia has their backs against the wall, ZP.
And for Russia, it's now do or die, and they will have their stand here on Eichenwald. It is an escort map where both teams will be pushing the payload, trying to move it into the castle. A lot of options here for both defense and offense to play.
Yeah, and we'll see France start things off on defense. We'll see DeGuN continue that strong play on Mei. Now, Kitty, she has played a fantastic Ana here during the Overwatch World Cup. So look to see her connect with those nano boosts and really make a difference. And on the side of Russia, I'm interested to see what they go with because you know, on the side of France, you saw them running that Winston early. Russia tried to adjust their comps, put ShaDowBurn on Reaper. But I feel like you lose what makes him special as a player when you take him off of Genji.
It's sort of what we saw earlier in the group stages when we saw sure4 not on a DPS character but on Zarya. Yes, it's a case where maybe there's reasons for it strategically, but you're sort of giving the enemy team one of the things you want, which is ShaDowBurn not on his signature character. So right now, if he stays on the Reaper, this is a bit of a win for France. However, you take a look what France is running here in the defense. They're no longer running a defensive Winston. They are just running the Kryw. I feel like ShaDowBurn, if Russia isn't able to get through here quickly, should switch off to the Genji. He will take that fight for his crew any day.
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on what we see from DeGuN on the side of France, if they should switch or not. If he's putting up those great Mei walls, preventing the enemies to come through, they're going to need to switch to something with a little bit more mobility than having Reaper and Reinhardt. It'll be map number 2 here in our best of 3 between France and Russia. It'll be Russia on offense, CP. We'll see how they start this attack. It'll be uNFixed starting things off on Tracer. We'll see if he can get behind enemy lines.
And for uNFixed, he's going to be looking for that all-important first pickoff, because here's the thing about first point Eichenwalde. If you do get stopped as an offense and give the other team ultimates to work with, to root themselves in, first point holds are very much a thing here. So for uNFixed, his job is to start the snowball rolling favorably for Russia early on in this game.
Yeah, getting behind enemy lines, he's just going to get on the point. It's going to force France to back up, just pay a little bit more attention to him, and now it could actually split the defense of France. This is very good for Russia at the beginning.
Absolutely. You take a look at France, they're distracted by uNFixed in the back. Meanwhile, the rest of Russia moving in from the front. So Russia right now pinstering France a bit here. uNFixed not able to get the early pickoff. ANAC dies, but still Russia making a bit of ground here as they play a little bit of positioning chess with France.
Yeah, I feel like uNFixed just needs to stay alive. It's going to be Kryw trying to connect with a flashbang. He misses, so now uNFixed in a fight here versus 3 players from the side of France, but it's going to be Kryw having to turn his attention through the front as more members of Russia are just attacking the front lines. Mickalow, though, with a fantastic play, they're able to take out Redzzzz once he gets separated from that May wall. And you see France building up these ultimates, ZP, so now things are starting to go in France's favor.
France is definitely a good position here. I think what we're going to see from Russia, they're going to wait till ShaDowBurn is Death Blossom and go for that combination of Death Blossom Nano Boost. But if it doesn't work out and they're still not through, I think we'll see ShaDowBurn switch to Genji and go to Tried and True, because if they get held here, X, that very well could be the tournament for Russia.
Which would be a big shocker here in our first match of the day. uNFixed just putting down a decent amount of poke damage here. You're going to see a Blizzard come out from DeGuN, and he traps everybody at the front here. And it's going to be uNFixed getting one behind enemy lines, but I do not think that's going to be enough. It's going to be France coming in, wiping out the rest of the players on Russia. You see a nano boost used there on Nox, but now Russia, they burn some of the ultimates on the side of France. Now they have an advantage of their own.
Absolutely, and this is Russia's window 100%. You take a look at France, they are drained. Russia has just about everything up minus a pulse bomb. They should be able to take this next fight. If France is somehow able to defend this, it would be one of the best defenses we've seen all exhibition long.
Yeah, you're going to see a nano boost come in for ShaDowBurn. He's going to fly through with a Death Blossom, but another fantastic Earth Shatter from Mickalow, but it's going to be ShaDowBurn cutting through one, Rubikon picking up another, and now Russia using those ultimates, getting onto the point, wiping through France.
And that was pretty much to be expected given the power of both teams in that situation. Even though Mickalow did land that great Earth Shatter, there was sound barrier, keeping Russia alive. And in general, they just had so much offensive power that France was not able to actually stay alive and capitalize on that Earth Shatter. So unfortunately for France, they will be losing point A here, but still not a bad defense, drained quite a bit of time off the clock.
Yeah, you'll see France take the high ground on your screen. They're going to have Nox now running Winston, and Kryw, he's going to be a big player here on McCree, having to knock down these shots from the high ground. As soon as they get an advantage, I expect to see France just dive down and try and wipe Russia off the payload.
Absolutely, and this is where teams will use verticality to their advantage. Eichenwalde, the most vertical map in the game, and here comes France, jumping right down. They have the ice wall set, then split off Russia, and Kryw moves in for the punish.
Oh, a nice flashbang there on the ShaDowBurn from Kryw. He's able to take out 2. You see Russia just falling here as a big push comes in from France. They get a team kill, and now they'll go back, set up a top.
And for France, this is what you want to continue to do here on the second stage of Eichenwalde, where you just use this big tower to your advantage. And you don't always have to use this too. There's other areas to go for, but if Russia doesn't answer for this, just keep the course. And for now, it's working as the Deadeye comes in once more.
Yeah, and as soon as he pops that Deadeye, Russia's going to have to back up. He tries to land something falling down, but the Reinhardt shield protects the side of Russia, but it seems like Russia cannot even get through the gate here, ZP. ShaDowBurn's gotten behind enemy lines. They're going to rely on him to do a lot here. He's going to get a nano boost and picks up 3 with a Death Blossom. Oh, things look so good for France. Their dreams ended there by one player. ShaDowBurn just cuts through the opposing team. He finishes off Kryw there at the end for good measure. A team kill in favor of Russia. Now they're advancing the payload.
ShaDowBurn just cutting through France, picking up almost every elimination there. And you take a look at, for Russia's strategy, they're giving up the explosiveness of ShaDowBurn's Genji for the reliability of that Reaper on a 1-2 punch. And for now, it's working out. It's not getting the fastest time, but still letting them get consistent progress.
Yeah, it's definitely working for the side of Russia. They're dealing with a Primal Rage Winston right now. It's going to be ShaDowBurn and uNFixed putting down a lot of damage on him, able to finish him off. But you see it's going to be a good push there from France. As they get through, they're starting to take out some players from Russia. ShaDowBurn gets frozen there. Oh, he gets saved here at the final second. ANAC comes in, keeps him alive, takes out DeGuN. And now you see Russia, they're moving the payload. It's the enemy Reinhardt behind enemy lines. ANAC gets out of the way, jumps up top, and this looks like you're going to be able to see Russia advance the payload, but France comes in off the spawn. They drop a sound barrier of their own, but they are not getting anything off of that CP. Everything going in favor of Russia.
That was a gamble by France, and it did not pay off. They threw a whole lot of their ultimate power into trying to defend the point right here. It's failed. What does that mean? It means Russia will have a bit of an ult advantage going into third, and this is the best chance for any team to take this third point on Eichenwald, where the gates are open. Your entire team gets through. You don't have to worry about getting split up by a Mei. Russia will have no better opportunity than this to close out this game.
Yeah, talk to us why it's so hard if you don't get in there originally once that wall opens to take this third point.
It's because that wall will close and you have to go through tiny choke points. Kryw right now for the defense, going to come in here with the Deadeye, looking to push Russia back a bit, trying to give France more of a positioning advantage here, and it works. They have pushed Russia back. They're split. A flanking Deadeye coming in. Ben Redzzzz taking down Nox, have Russia 6v5.
Yeah, Kryw just dealing with a lot on his plate here. He's going to be able to take out ANAC, not going to be able to get uNFixed. A nice Deadeye there coming in from the side of Russia, but it's going to be Mickalow knocking down uNFixed yet again. Mickalow has played a fantastic Reinhardt here. Reds deals with him. Nox coming in off the spawn, and it's going to be France. Able to hold on for the time being, but you do see Russia. They have that Earth Shatter, and they have a nano boost to work with it. So they got to use those two abilities to get through the door, get early first picks.
And now hard mode has been engaged for Russia, where they do have to get through these tiny, tiny doors to get through. DeGuN going to be using that Mei to split them off. They move right into Winston, though. They pierce through, but there's going to be the Mei freezing people as they enter. But Russia unfazed and picked up 2 kills here, X.
But as soon as they give the nano boost to Mickalow, he gets knocked down. That is not ideal for France. He pins one, connecting on uNFixed, did not plan that. But it's going to be ShaDowBurn taking out 2. And now you see Russia, they're going around the corner. They do have the sound barrier, and look at the position ShaDowBurn set up in.
ShaDowBurn is ready to rock. He's up on the top. He's caught out. He has to back off. That would have been beautiful, but now he's not giving up just yet. He's going to be looking for another flanking opportunity. Rolls a little bit more towards the back. When we see from Russia is they're giving France a little bit of space, but they're going to zoom right back into them here, X. I like this positioning in theory, and it could pay big time.
Yeah, Russia just backs out, just lets France come back towards them, and they're going to use that sound barrier. Graviton Surge comes in as well. 2 from ShaDowBurn. He's stuck inside, though. He's going to have to get out of there. Takes out Mickalow, and this is where Russia can take advantage here. A few players drop. uNFixed still on the payload. They're going to complete the map with 29 seconds to spare.
That was so smart coming out from Russia. They knew the respawns were coming in, and rather than fighting it right on the point, they backed up. They let ShaDowBurn get around the side, and just when France thought they had an advantage pushing back in, it's Russia with the counter push, fueled by ShaDowBurn, taking down France.
Yeah, now we have seen France have some fantastic games here. Nox has been a big reason why. Let's see what he has had to say about his experience here at the Overwatch World Cup.
With the team France, I have to explain a lot of things that they didn't understand, but to improve them. I try to explain all the mechanics in top level, all the little things that make all the difference on this game. I try to put all the background I have with Rogue on this team too. What I have to do successfully for my team, I'm gonna play really aggressive. If I win most of the dual rainouts, I could make all the difference.
They'll jump right back into game now. It'll be France on offense here, ZP. We saw, the Mei be very crucial for the side of France on defense. It's going to be ShaDowBurn running the Mei for Russia here. It's a very interesting strategy. I don't think we've seen him run Mei at all so far in this one.
We have seen him run Mei a few times, but it's definitely not his main go-to character. Usually he prefers to play characters with a little bit more oomph and offensive power, but ShaDowBurn has been trying to extend his hero pool a little bit more often, and this is also a point where you really do want a Mei. Just the ability to block people off as they come in is great, and usually it forces teams to go more for flanking characters, more even to the air, which it looks like for France right now, that cYpheR very well could be coming into play.
Yeah, but the Pharaoh without Mercy, and then Russia having uNFixed on Kryw, I do not know how well that will work out for France. We'll see if they stick with this lineup as we get to the game. It looks likely as we only have 5 seconds left. It'll be France on offense here. It'll be Kryw running that Pharah, so we'll see if he's able to get anything doing. He's going to get picked out of the sky, though, I feel like, ZP. I feel like they're going to have to make an adjustment here.
It's going to be very rough. I think he's hoping that there'll be a little bit more distraction with the Genji and Winston, where if everyone comes in over the top, McCree can't possibly shoot everyone. So McCree's going to have to choose, who does he suppress more? Does he go for the Pharah? Does he go for the Genji? Both can be lethal if not dealt with. as the first push not necessarily working out too well here for France.
Yeah, he's dealt with pretty quick there. Rubikon lands one nice shot, and he's able to take him out of the sky. France gets 2 players dead there at the beginning. It's a good first hold here from Russia. As you see, it's going to be France backing up, back into their spawn. DeGuN just trying to stay alive there. And now you see the setup coming in from Russia. They will have a Blizzard in the next fight.
They absolutely will. And you take a look at France, they're already off the Pharah, so they weren't a fan of it. As you had mentioned earlier, I think that running the Pharah without the Mercy is a little bit rough. Mercy is best friends with Pharah as far as meta compositions go, but take a look at ShaDowBurn. He's already built up a Blizzard, so France now, they could get walled and then Blizzarded just from ShaDowBurn here, and that's exactly what might be happening.
Yeah, and it looks like France just knew where ShaDowBurn was and was going to just try and push in him right away, but he has a Blizzard, not going to work out well. Kryw is going to fall. ShaDowBurn gets back into his block, gets some health back. It's going to be Russia winning that team fight with ease, and France, no ultimate abilities to work with here on the offensive side of things. Russia is stacked. Things are looking better and better for this Russian team.
And for Russia now, you take a look at their defense. They can spend a few ultimates in the next fight and take it cleanly. France very much drained. France gonna have to use 1 or 2 pushes without a whole lot of results. And after that, X, they're not gonna have much time. So we'll see how this goes as Mickalow leaping in over the top.
It's gonna be uNFixed using that Deadeye and seeing the skulls pop up on the screen. Big 3-piece there. As now it's going to be France just falling back. Oh, make it 4. He goes in, gets AlphaCast for good measure. Big play there from uNFixed, and that's like one of the only Deadeyes I feel like we've seen at the Overwatch World Cup that's like actually connected, taking out more than like one guy.
Deadeye is difficult to get full kills on. Usually you get more effort from it on the zoning, but lots of happy little skulls coming out there for uNFixed. Was able to pierce through, but France now, the ultimate situation is turned. This is going to be their window. They're moving in, and here comes DeGuN.
Yeah, it's going to be Rubikon, though, getting the sound barrier from a teammate. Oh, and you see there, Reinhardt absolutely flying there. Redzzzz takes out 2, ShaDowBurn with 1, ANAC with another. And just when you thought things were going to go well for France, they all fall apart. It's going to be DeGuN. He's not going to last very long. It's going to be 5 members of Russia versus him. And now you see, though, France did drain some of the ultimates on the side of Russia, so that is a win there. But they have nothing to work with now coming into the next fight.
It's a win in that they got some ultimates out of it, but they had a huge advantage there. They have wasted that window, and now they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. ShaDowBurn, though, blocking them off, setting up this fight. France split between 2 worlds, and X is looking like another one fight here for Russia.
Oh, a fantastic Mei wall there from ShaDowBurn, and Mei is so effective on this first point. I feel like if you are France, you just need to do something to deal with ShaDowBurn right now. He is just stopping every single push before it even gets started.
The Mei play has been great, and for France, they did try early on before air mobility, but oh no, here comes a Deadeye once more. Skulls popping up, doesn't get anything, but will crack the shield and lets Russia move forward again.
Yeah, and that is big because you saw Mickalow start charging towards himself, and you will see Kitty actually, she has her nano boost to work with. Kryw getting very close to a Deadeye, but only 35 seconds left. Now it's going to be Russia just trying to get one more hold here, and you see the Blizzard come in. Kryw just trying to get it set up here to use this Deadeye. Let's see if he can connect.
He's looking for the Deadeye, does not get anything off it. His team is dying all around him, and this is do or die for France. 20 seconds remaining, and it is a home run! He is still in orbit.
And it's going to be Russia on the defensive end getting a stand. They're going to push forward. They have the nano boost here. 10 seconds left. If France is going to get towards the point, they gotta get close. Oh, look at it. It's going to be DeGuN over the top. Needs to get on the point, though. Only 4 seconds left. Needs a contest, and now he realizes he hasn't touched it. Finally gets on with like 2 seconds left there. He's taken out. It's going to be Russia holding on here. They use a nano boost of their own, and you see it's going to be ANAC fully charged up, plus the nano boost. GG. Map number 2 goes in favor to Russia.
Russia striking right back with authority. There's no better display in Eichenwald than that, where not only did they complete Eichenwald, which is difficult, but they come back with the full hold on first. And this is going to bring us to a map number 3.
It's going to all come down to Li장tawo in our 3rd map here between France and Russia. We saw France, they barely got through Temple of Anubis. They get it in overtime, and you saw Russia there. A fantastic map number 2. Take that one. But let's learn a little bit more about our team from France.
Before Team France even had a chance to prove themselves to the world, they had to prove themselves to France itself.
Initially, when our team got announced, we got a lot of, well, criticism, kind of, from the community.
Everyone back in France had something to say about the team, why there wasn't more pro players, or even people that they didn't know in this team.
We have a very
unusual team comp for a World Cup team. In the French team, there's actually only 2 pro players and 1 semi-pro.
Me and Kryw and DeGuN are the pro players for this team, and we just try to see who is the best for each heroes. Because of some weakness player, we have to stick on one lineup.
We adapt to each other's playstyle and really become a united team.
Even after proving themselves in-game and online, the French team still had to fight for approval from their fans to even be considered a legitimate threat in the World Cup.
We're kind of always the underdogs, and that's what makes us fun to watch.
It's fun to be the underdog. We practice a lot to try to show that we can still win games against pro players.
I think we managed to show that if we stick together and if we just try our best, France can still be a strong country in this World Cup.
It's so interesting when you listen to them speak, ZP. They talk about, that maybe this wasn't the team that the region wanted. That's how I think they kind of came together, and we've seen them get on the same page faster than we have some other teams.
France gelled really well, where unlike some of the other teams at tournament, they weren't completely stacked with players from the pro scene, and yet they've put in a lot of effort. But now they're going to have to go another level beyond, because if they want to stay alive here in the Overwatch World Cup, in this exhibition, they're going to have to find a way of taking down Russia here on Lijiang
Yeah, and ShaDowBurn really heated up in that second map. He goes 49-4 on Eichenball for the win. It'll be Russia versus France here, map number 3. It all comes down to this for a spot in the semifinals, and we'll see Kryw and Co for France trying to push here on the stairs, and they actually land a nice Maywall there, getting ANAC very low, and they're able to take advantage early.
Early on, 5v5, both teams getting into it. Neither team with a huge edge here just yet. France, though, getting poked down by Russia. Russia in a good position, but they also have gotten poked down pretty heavily. ShaDowBurn on the ropes, and it's going to be France actually turning this more towards their favor. Not supercharged up in Zarya, still full HP, moving forward, and France just removing Russia from this point for the first capture.
They'll be good first control for France, but on the side of Russia, you will see uNFixed with that pulse bomb, see if he can open up the fight, taking one member out. Then you're going to see Russia just swarm, and they're going with pretty squishy composition. You know, they all have Reds with the Winston, and ShaDowBurn and uNFixed going with Genji, Tracer, and DeGuN on the side of France can really do a lot of damage on that Mei.
Absolutely, but here comes ShaDowBurn going to the backline, so close to the Dragon Blade, trying to get an AlphaCast. AlphaCast able to boop him out, but while this is going on, you have Kryw and Nox getting into that Russia backline, and it's not going to be enough as Russia will be pushed back once more.
So it's really interesting, you know, ShaDowBurn getting all the way back there, and it seems like the side of France, like they're not dealing with him right away. They're letting ShaDowBurn get behind them, just pushing forward, taking out 2 or 3 players, and then ShaDowBurn's not able to do anything. They just come back to clean him up.
As good as ShaDowBurn is, he still needs a team behind him, so that's one of the ways of dealing with it. Ignore him, go for the backline, but it's going to get really tricky here in a moment as Groundtown Surge comes in. Kryw taking down Rubikon early on here as Nox trying to set France for glory here, and it's going to be 3 quick kills here from France.
Kitty lands a fantastic sleep dart onto uNFixed there. uNFixed trying to come on the flank. Does not work out for Russia. France is stacked with ultimates, as is Russia. Let's see who uses theirs better in this next fight. DeGuN not with that Blizzard though, so that's going to be crucial there for Russia. They'll be able to use the Nano Boost and Dragon Blade and not going to get stopped in their tracks.
This is where it could be ShaDowBurn showtime. He's moving in. Oh my goodness! Just stoned by Kryw. Kryw stopping him right in his tracks, stopping this push cold. However, he died so quickly there, X, that ShaDowBurn still has Dragon Blade.
Yeah, I was going to say, as bad as it looked for Russia, ShaDowBurn actually never gets the blade out, so he holds on to that ultimate. France, though, with another good hold, they get to 85% and counting. They need one more good fight here to put away Russia in our first point, but here comes ShaDowBurn with that Nano Boost, and oh, it's going to be Kryw trying to get behind enemy lines. He's put to sleep. ShaDowBurn picks up 3, and now Russia's starting to get rolling.
And then top it all off, what a good sleep dart by Rubikon to remove Kryw from that fight early on. ShaDowBurn gets the big team wipe he was looking for, but here's where it gets tricky. They're going to have to hold down for the rest of the round. France still in a great position to build up some power and bring it right back. And for Russia, they just want to keep the momentum. Graviton Surge soon to be on the way, perhaps, from ANAC.
Yeah, you see it come in uNFixed with a pulse bomb. That's going to be 2. And there is the push from France, ending as quick as it started. And now you're going to see Russia back out towards the point. France does not have an opportunity to build any ultimate abilities during that fight. So You see Nox getting close to the Graviton Surge. That's really about it. Maybe the Blizzard coming into this next one, but Russia in a very good spot.
Absolutely. And here's the scary thing is ShaDowBurn has Dragon Blade up again. He built it up already, just using the fight prior to the last one. And he should be looking to get into this back line of France. And Rubikon wasn't quite close to Nano Boost, but he's healed up a lot of poke damage here, so he's soon to have it as well. Sound Barrier, Nano Boost on the way here as France just struggling to get this early pickup, but Russia doing a good job of hanging in here.
uNFixed falls at the beginning, and that's going to force the Dragon Blade out from ShaDowBurn as his teammates are all falling inside of the point. He's going to be able to get to ShaDowBurn, just trying to keep this alive for Russia. You're going to see the Graviton Surge come in. Nox and Kryw take out one apiece. ShaDowBurn's backed up, needs to get some teammate support. ShaDowBurn staying alive for as long as he can. He finally drops, and now it's going to be Russia. Maybe one good attempt here on Fix, trying to stay on the point for as long as he can. You see DeGuN with a nice May wall blocking off Rubikon, and this may be very well in, but here comes Redzzzz. He's going to be nano boosted with the Primal Rage, getting inside the point, just trying to stay alive.
And this is the last gasp here for Russia, where they're trying to get on the point, but they are outmanned and outgunned here by France. France will be taking them out and taking round number one here in Lijiang if they can take out uNFixed right there, and they do.
Yeah, uNFixed gets on the point, lasts for maybe a half a second. So France takes round number one. Man, CP, it's crazy to see France potentially upsetting Russia with how strong Russia was during group play and how dominant ShaDowBurn is. They have really done a fantastic job as a team shutting him down.
Absolutely, and again, you pointed out a little bit mid-cast, but I think part of it here is that they're not going the way of trying to focus down ShaDowBurn. They're going on his team in return, and there's been so many situations here where ShaDowBurn has gotten 2 or 3 eliminations, but his team is all dead around him, and he can't really do much more. So for now, this strategy is working out for France, but there's still multiple rounds here left to go here in Lijiang, and Russia absolutely can bring this back.
And with Russia switching uNFixed off of Tracer to May, you like that decision going into this second point?
Off Tracer to May, I do like it for a little bit more control, just to give more things for France to worry about other than ShaDowBurn, where they do have to worry about getting split off. And that split off here, giving a little bit of extra room early on.
Yeah, I feel like when uNFixed was on Tracer, he'd get behind enemy lines, but he was dealt with pretty quick. So I like that transition over towards May. And you see Nox put a nice barrier there onto Mickalow as he is building up charge, and they have the enemy Reinhardt dead. Oh, almost the boop off the side there. And it's going to be Nox just holding on to his life. 2 kills there coming in from Russia. Make it 3. Nox just putting down damage, but has no teammates there. Finally dealt with by Enoch. But it's going to be a clean sweep there from Russia. At the beginning, they should be able to take this point, and now starting to build up the percentages. Now they're going to be able to trap France back in their spot.
That's one of the more efficient first fights I think we've ever seen. Russia already almost has every ultimate up on their team just from one fight. France gonna have a real problem getting through here in the next fight. A lot of tools in Russia's arsenal right now, and we'll see. There's multiple ways to go for this. They can go for the Graviton Sep, they can Sound Bear, Dragon Blade. All options are open.
Well, I think if you are Russia, I think you try and hold on to these ultimates. You see ShaDowBurn, though, he does not want to do that. Dives up into the sky, takes out 2 with the Dragon Blade. Oh, he's going for a frag, though. It's gonna be Mickalow with a pin to ShaDowBurn, takes him across the map. But Mickalow is weak, getting back towards the point, just jumps off the map, knows that he has no opportunity to take the point. There'll be France resetting.
The problem there for Mickalow is that it was just a little bit too late. ShaDowBurn had already taken out 2 people in the opening seconds of that combination. But you take a look at Russia. Their respawns are coming in. They'll have a full 6 once more. France also loaded for Bear. This is going to be potentially a round-defining ultimate showdown coming up here. We're going to see which team's going to come out on top as uNFixed. Look at make things a little bit chilly here on this May.
Yeah. Coming around the outside is uNFixed with this Blizzard, and as soon as he sees the push coming in from France, you expect the Blizzard to come down. He's going to drop it. He's going to connect with a few players. You see Reds inside. uNFixed gets 2, and a fantastic Blizzard there from uNFixed. He puts up a Maywall, blocks Nox in, and France cannot get anything going in our second point.
And for France, at least they held on to 3 of their ultimates, but now X, their backs are against the wall. This next fight is a must-win. If they fall here, they will be losing this round, and Russia will have evened up Lijiang Tower. So France, they need to strike now.
Well, France has a lot of ultimates here, and you have nothing on the side of Russia. You're going to see Kryw dive in with that Nano Boost Death Blossom combo, and he's able to get nothing for it, and he's going to have to reload. Finally takes out Rubikon, and now it's going to be France using those ultimates, getting back towards the point, but they get nobody on in the final seconds. Oh, that is a heartbreaker there for France. They push through, they get the kills, they forget there's an objective to do. And just in like the final seconds, they're all standing around and it's like, who's on the point? Oh, nobody's on the point, we lose.
Oh my goodness, you hate to see that kind of thing happen, where France, they could have mounted the comeback in that round, but after wiping out Russia, just not getting on the point. Oh my goodness.
And Mickalow was right there because we're looking through, I believe it was Kryw's POV on Reaper, and you can see he gets a Death Blossom, goes back toward, and it seemed like he thought teammates were going to get on it, so he just kind of stopped, and the clock hit 99. They think everyone kind of looked around like, oh geez, we have nobody on the point. That is upsetting there as France. They would have been able to take the point back, but Russia had 99. Don't know if they would have been able to make the comeback, but see if that hurts France as we go to our third point here on Lijiang
Third point coming up here. Both teams trading up poke damage early on. France pushing a little bit more aggressively. Mickalow lucky not to die there. Russia's still in very good health here, so they're playing around this. They're moving in and out, and now ShaDowBurn looking for his opportunity in the back line as France very low on health. They're very close to losing this fight.
And it's going to be Redzzzz diving in. He's going to get taken out quick, but uNFixed answers taking out DeGuN, so that's a big kill there from uNFixed. That's going to allow ShaDowBurn to get to work. He dashes through one, just putting down some good damage as both these teams just exchanging kills. It's going to be France going for that mid control. ShaDowBurn with a nice kill there, getting right up in McCree's face. Nice kill there on the Kryw. Nox deals with him. But now that the point is available, we see both teams just fighting for that mid-map control, and it looks like France gonna get it early.
France able to pull that back. That's actually very surprising. They were getting just completely outdamaged by the DPS poke of Russia. Mickalow, though, dropping the big hammer, only gets one, gets booped away, doesn't get the charge, and goes way out of bounds.
Yeah, Mickalow is realizing that he is very far away from the rest of his team. That's gonna be a long walk back towards the fight, and when he gets there, there's gonna be nobody left from France. Russia takes advantage of that mistake, wipes out the side of France. Russia gets the point.
I believe it was that little touch of love from Godspeed. So subtle, yet so important. Supporting his team in a way other than speed boosting and healing.
Well, it's like he conveniently lands the boot, and then Mickalow conveniently navigates his way through that hallway, does not connect with anything to stop his ride. It's going to be a Graviton Surge coming in. Rubicon grabs two. So it's going to be Russia taking advantage here. The early portions of this team fight, they'll win it. It'll force France to reset.
And now for Russia, they are in a good position, holding forward into the next fight. For Rubicon, multiple outs for him to put this nano boost on. Likely put it on ShaDowBurn or also to put it on Redzzzz. Either way, France needs to get through the choke point, preferably get an early pickoff and try and turn this the other way, or alternatively, just drain some of this Russia ultimate power.
Yeah, I feel like if you're France, you'll have to get Kryw positioned up top, use that Deadeye, just force some action there in the middle of the map, give your teammates more space to work. But Redzzzz, right at the beginning, takes out Mickalow. So you see Redzzzz taking advantage of this matchup with Mickalow, starting to win the engagements in the tanks.
Absolutely, and for Russia right now, they're at 53%, so they only have to win about 2 more major fights. France slowly running out of time. Ideally for them, they'd like to take this next one, but it's going to be difficult. You take a look at how Russia's going to engage this. ShaDowBurn just staying here on the top. He is raring and ready to go here, X, and teams have had a real problem countering ShaDowBurn when this combination is up.
Yeah, he gets up top here, and he's just going to put down some Shurikens. I think they're trying to bait some of these ultimates out from the side of France, and just like that, you're going to see the sound barrier and the Dragon Blade come out from the side of Russia. ShaDowBurn just trying to get through the opponents. A beautiful Blizzard comes in from uNFixed, and the Blizzard is really what turns it in Russia's sides.
Absolutely. ShaDowBurn might get something worried, but it's uNFixed with the weather report that France did not want to receive there, setting up Russia. 90% left to go, and France going to be all sorts of trouble just to even put this into overtime now here, X.
Oh, I mean, they have no abilities to get back on the side of Russia. You have nothing right now. It's going to be AlphaCast getting Godspeed, but they need to get towards the point. They do not make it in time. You see, they're trying to go around the outside, France, and they get shut down. It'll be Russia taking the second point here on Lijiang up 2-1, 1 round away from taking this series.
As you mentioned, Russia now, they are that 1 round away from moving forward. France now backs against the wall. Every round a must-win situation for them, or they will be going home. So for France, they're gonna have to come out strong for this next round.
And the stats are just absurd from this matchup right now. So ShaDowBurn is sitting at 48-8. The next highest kills in the lobby is 29. So you see ShaDowBurn just going absolutely off. France has not had a counter for him here on Lijiang Tower.
And the thing about ShaDowBurn, especially teams he plays on, yes, he is a phenomenal Genji player, but you take a look at the rest of Russia's squad. Godspeed, Rubikon, and ANAC all throwing so much support his way. Zarya shield, speed boost, nano charges, and all the rest. And doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah, for me also, if you look at the Reinhardt matchup, really, Reds has done a fantastic job of going up against Mickalow, and as just as I say that, somewhat of a profit ZP. It's going to be Reds taking out Mickalow to start off this fight. And once they get the enemy Reinhardt out of position, you just see the side of France just fall apart. Oh, that was a pretty effective deflect. He's just crushing.
So the joke about ShaDowBurn is that ShaDowBurn is someone that just loves throwing things back at the other team. Really well known for not only deflecting key shots, but also ultimates as well. And it's something that Nox has to be very careful about when he has Graviton Surge up. Hasn't happened yet, but it's a case where a deflected Graviton can be huge. His Kryw gets picked off from long range.
But I feel like France, they're sticking with this comp for now. I feel like you've got to make a change before you allow Russia to build up some ultimates, and then you really just kind of put yourself out of this map.
Absolutely, and for France, I mean, the question is, what does that change? I do think a Winston would be kind of nice to at least deal with ShaDowBurn a little bit more. And speaking of ShaDowBurn, up into the air he goes, Dragon Blade out, Nano Boost in, takes down DeGuN, and sets up his team, even as he turns into a popsicle.
He's going to get frozen, but they're able to keep him alive. He backs out all the way back towards the point, so France tried to bait in Russia there. They use the Blizzard, they get nothing for it. So the one ability they had, France, they use. You're getting closer to a Graviton Surge, but ZP, I feel like they got to change something up comp-wise. You got to see something like a Winston or a McCree come out here.
I would like to see that here because they've been doing a much less job dealing with ShaDowBurn. Russia's been doing a good job backing off and not letting France charge into them. And for France, they are down to arguably their last two team fights here. So their tournament life now on the line as the Graviton Surge comes out.
Oh, but you see a beautiful Maywall there, just keeps France alive for a little bit. DeGuN then drops. It's going to be Kryw, though, able to get 3 with a Death Blossom. Mickalow with 1. And now it's France getting on the point. Just what you thought Russia was going to be able to get a strong hold there. France fights back.
France fighting back, and now X, in theory, if they got like that, they could come back in, but 70% is really close. So this is more of a situation where France really needs to win every last remaining fight. So for Russia, they're one fight away from taking it, but France fighting on as both teams drop the beats.
Yeah, and you will see Kryw use his Death Blossom. He only gets 1. It's going to be ShaDowBurn. Going to dive on the opposing Lucio, able to take out AlphaCast, and he's going to pause the Dragon Blade. Gets 2 big kills there, and now you see Russia getting towards the point. It's going to be DeGuN just trying to stay alive for France. Builds the wall, knocks himself up, has a Blizzard, saves it. I like that decision.
I do like that decision. They're going to need that going to this next fight where hopefully for France's sake, they can come back and go for one last fight. But you take a look at Russia right now. They're going to try and just delay them before they can even get on. 80% left, so France is going to have a bit of time here, but any mistakes would be fatal.
We'll see France push from the bridge. It'll be DeGuN dropping down his Blizzard. The Earthshatter comes in as well. They have Reds dead to rights here. And oh, why would Russia use the Nano Boost? They're stuck in the Blizzard. Red's able to fight his way through it. But still, I feel like Russia wasted that. They should have held on, but the Blizzard comes in from uNFixed. They should be able to turn this fight in their favor. And this is where Russia can take the point back and win.
Russia right now so close to that victory moment. ShaDowBurn getting all the cleanup he needs, and Russia in overtime, just about there. They're gonna take it.
And right there, Russia concludes this series versus France, winning it 2-1. Was not as easy as some of us thought, but I know France put up a fabulous fight, some great team play. What'd you like when you saw about Russia?
What I liked what I saw about Russia is that they made adjustments, particularly in regards to playing around ShaDowBurn, where France was punishing them for ShaDowBurn going to that backline by counter-charging, and Russia was playing a lot more conservatively a little bit later, where they didn't let themselves get picked off. They let ShaDowBurn do what he needed to do, while still supporting him at the same time.
Yeah, this is just a dominant performance from ShaDowBurn there on our third map. He goes 65-9. That is absolutely absurd. The next highest kills in the lobby is ANAC with 44, but enough from ZP and I. Let's go back to analysis to get their thoughts on that Russia win.
Thank you so much, Mr. X. Thank you, ZP. Now we have a heck of a match to analyze here because it really looked like in the beginning, France was going to upset all of your predictions and come out on top, and they nearly did it right up until the last moment.
Absolutely fantastic stuff to start with. Temple of Anubis obviously is where it all began. And We were a little surprised by it, no doubt about it, as probably everybody else was. But DeGuN was fantastic for me in the opening. Played a bunch of heroes. Started out in the Genji, which is something we don't often see too often. Then obviously played a brilliant Mei, had a bit of Widowmaker in there as well to add that little extra flavor in extra time, but it all worked so well. But Johnny, you saw something special, I believe, in the French defense.
Yes, it was really a very specific, very fantastic defense coming out from France here. They acknowledged that they don't have that McCree player like I talked about, so instead they went for a Winston and a Reaper composition, which we're going to talk more about later. But first off, Mitch.
Well, I mean, I just think it's important to note here as well, we did see some situations when the fights occurred that, you know, we've seen the French team putting a lot of emphasis on dealing with ShaDowBurn's Genji. Now, this is a given. This is something you need to have at the top of your priority list in general. But the whole reason that in that second half we saw Russia take the first point on their own is because while France were busy dealing with that Genji, their mental bandwidth was too taxed to remember, or at least to deal with the Graviton Surge Pulse Bomb combo. Now, with a Tracer and Zarya in the mix, it gives you a little bit extra on top of a nano-boosted Genji. Almost a double threat, I guess, in situations like that. Very, very important to use there. I thought uNFixed as well, coming around from the backside, had some good defensive plays. We saw him come through on that Reaper. Very much back and forth stuff here as well. I mean, it'd be good to delve a little bit deeper into some of the setups here, because there's definitely been some fascinating interactions when it comes to ShaDowBurn, his hero pool, and how France have tried to respond to it.
Yeah, I know we've got some replays to look at there. We really break this action down. Reinforce, you want to start us off?
Yeah, we can take a look at my replay here on Anubis, where we see their true composition coming together. So we're going to see the Winston, the Reaper, and the Mei here defending for France.
My ultimate is charging.
And we're going to see them set up here. They're waiting for ShaDowBurn to come through, wrap around here on the side. And right here, they're in a position to defend. You can see ShaDowBurn in the back right now. He's coming around on the right-hand side. And right here, you can see Nox moving forward. Can use some nice tools. Woo! So Nox here, his only job here on this France composition is to look at ShaDowBurn. This guy right here. So they're completely neglecting ShaDowBurn here, while the Reaper is just going to deal with the Russian composition coming into the point A here. And meanwhile, they don't have a McCree to shut down this ShaDowBurn, so he's just... So as we play this forward, we can see that ShaDowBurn is going to get attacked by this Winston Nox here. And Reaper's going to drop down, take care of the composition here, while ShaDowBurn can't really do anything, and it's just getting chased away by Nox.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an important point to look at there. We see that position up on high on the top left used quite often by a lot of teams, actually, because it's very, very hard to check that high angle. It obviously is a bit annoying to look up there, but it also requires you to literally turn your body away from the defensive setup there. It's going to give you two angles of attack, 180 degrees apart, very strong there, and you can see that Kryw, his job wasn't so much to banish ShaDowBurn there, but to cut down the rest of the Russian lineup moving inside the point.
Well, moving on to Eichenwald, we saw a total switch up because it really seemed like Anubis was France's map. They really had that figured out. But everything went up in the air when we headed over to Eichenwald because this was somewhere where Russia really, really had all their angles down. They really were protecting themselves well. Do you have anything you'd like to talk about on their defensive side there?
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing I might bring in with the replay, and it's more of a concept that I want to introduce for those maybe who don't watch a heck of a lot of competitive Overwatch and maybe see how it works. So we can bring the replay up now and I can show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. Now, first thing to look at is the ultimate percentages on the side of the French team. Now, at one point, just before this fight, they had 5 ultimates ready to go. The same could be said of the Russian side here as well. They charged up their ultimates, they didn't spend them, but in the fight just before this, we can roll the clip now as you just sort of see it, the French team used all their ultimates and none were forced out from Russia. They come in at a distinct ultimate advantage. You can see now all the good things are coming out. There's a sound barrier, Graviton Surge being used, there's even a nano boost off towards the side. Now the fight itself is quite chaotic, but France used their ultimates quite cheaply, and Russia made the correct decision by allowing themselves to be wiped by all the ultimates that were being used, knowing they'd come back in 5 ultimates to 2 in the next fight and have a huge advantage. That's how you take a point like that, especially when there's a big choke point involved. You really need to save up your nukes and all that stuff and throw them at the enemy and hope you've got more.
And it shows how key a moment that was, because obviously that was capturing the payload, that was getting the payload moving, something France couldn't even do. Right. So if they'd have maybe stored everything up, it would have worked in their favor. But sadly, they couldn't do anything on Eichenwald.
Well, happily enough, it continued our match all the way to a third map, and we did get to see Lijiang here, and these two teams do get out one last time. Now, Lijiang Tower looked like another map that was going to go in France's favor. What were they doing so well that kept Russia guessing?
Well, they manage to win out the first fight. That tends to be one of the biggest parts of any control map situation, which they did very well in Command Center. They had it fully in control. And more importantly, obviously, when you do win out that first fight, you tend to have a big ulti advantage, which can generally stack yourself up to at least 50 to 70% before you're really in trouble.
And of course, if you take that first point, then you can often build up to like 80%, and then you only have to win one more fight. And that gives you room to bait out ultimates from the defending team, for example, and you get a bit more decisiveness. When do we want to fight? When do we want to take over this point to cap it?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important to see that when France eventually had the point taken back off them, when Russia used all of their ultimates, France actually managed to win a fight without having ultimate advantage. They didn't actually have to build up a huge bank of it. Theoretically, you shouldn't win a fight with an ultimate disadvantage, but they managed to do that. However, we saw some really, really nice mechanical play from the Russians in general across these 3 maps. I think they brawled out just a little bit better, and we did see Li장tawo be a problem for the French team in the past. I'm going to replay here that I wouldn't mind showing. Just one little thing, and I want to call this out. Supports don't get enough love in Overwatch, and I think you guys probably saw this during the game, but let's show the clip now as well. I'll show you the freeze frame of it, and you can get an idea of exactly how it happened. This is Godspeed now. So he's sitting here on this loot chair. Now, I've stopped this one because the French team obviously are coming and pushing on in. We already see it under control of the French here, but we've seen Mickalow just Earth Shatter. Now, his Earth Shatter actually didn't catch too many people at all. It was quite small. You see, most of the Russian team was able to avoid that, but ANAC was caught. So if you're Mickalow in this position, now you're trying to get some value. You need to get a kill. We saw the Fire Strike come through. He's trying to focus on ANAC. Godspeed as well as popping a lot of his cooldowns, and he's actually getting ready to do something here. You can see that, the red, so they've been used. He's got the green over here, which means now it's speed boost. So he's crossfaded his speed boost, he's amped it up, which means now it's giving the extra speed boost for his team instead of just the static one. And I want you guys to watch exactly what he does here. So we'll roll the clip. You see Godspeed is coming up to try and help ANAC. He needs to keep ANAC alive. The Zai is very important here. Roll the clip and we can show you exactly how he gets his teammate out of danger eventually. We can show, because obviously we're going to see now Mickalow needs to charge to get the kill, but the boop, very, very subtle, very hard to see. Godspeed knocks him off course there with that right click, and at that point, as if you're Mickalow, first you have to react to the fact that you're not going to hit your initial target, and then try and drive yourself into a wall to stop yourself. He didn't do that. He got caught way out from the rest of his team, and then he had to walk back. Reinhardt's not fast. He doesn't have any speed boost. He's not mobile, and that was a big blow to the French team, and they pretty much lost the rest of the map as a result.
A position I've sadly found myself in way too many times as Reinhardt.
Aggressive Johnny.
Aggressive Reinhardt.
Yeah, we did see also, I saw there was a clutch move from Kitty also on Li장tawo where she was getting harassed by the Tracer and managed to just poof, sweep right out of the fight. So really impressive play there from our supports on both Russia and France. We have just a replay package now of some other stuff we wanted to check out because I know, Reinforce, you mentioned that we wanted to talk about the tank plays here. And with Mickalow in play, it's a great time to have that conversation.
Yeah, coming into this, Mickalow wasn't really considered the best tank on the French lineup, but he changed to the role and he adapted well. And I think he pretty decisively won the Reinhardt battle here versus Redzzzz.
I mean, ShaDowBurn here as well, of course, an important part of, you know, around the tank play, because dealing with ShaDowBurn as a Reinhardt is quite crucial, and it's quite easy to do that as well if you use your hammer well. But again, we're seeing a lot of Genji play here, just as we're talking about the tanks. I've got to say also, Nox, he had 61% average energy at one point in Li장tawo. 230 from ANAC. He actually had an extra 40% damage on top of him, and that makes a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. But the thing is that ShaDowBurn pretty much had 30%, one-third of Russia's damage for the entire series. He was the hard carry. He put them on his back in that way because they set him up to succeed.
Yeah, you just saw the heartbreaking end there as ShaDowBurn put an end to the French dreams. It's something that basically has been told over and over again. ShaDowBurn, he was the difference again as he came through Eichenwald. Big difference on this map, of course. And overall, it's something that France didn't have an answer to. It's what we thought maybe could be the problem. Obviously, looking towards the semi-finals, both Finland and Spain are going to be looking towards this game and thinking, how do we deal with this guy? Because even when you focus dealing with ShaDowBurn, as was proven earlier on, you have uNFixed and ANAC in there to put a bit of wombo combo on the chin.
I do want to give some praise to the French lineup here. We didn't expect them at all to deal with ShaDowBurn as it was, but he put on a good McQueen show on Eichenwald, and I think in general they can be pretty proud of what they did there versus Russia.
Yeah, I was trying not to get too excited for you guys and your predictions to be wrong here. I was big on the side of France, but
I nailed it, 2-1. I got it. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I was surprised to see France get that one map. I also do think the Russia are a little bit slow to warm up on this stage. I think ultimately, look, I think in maybe 4 out of 6 positions, they're a stronger team. Talking about this whole pound for pound kind of thing. And I think bringing those elements together took them a couple maps to do, but you can see how well they brawled here. This, of course, you know, the control point maps really can expose weaknesses in your team play and your instincts and your mechanics. And I think here as well, there was definitely the edge for the Russian side. They've got a pretty darn scary team, a lot of them with a lot of experience, so some things don't even have to be said or communicated, they are just done.
Well, speaking of talking and communication, we are going to do a bit of that because we got Jason Kaplan down on the floor with ShaDowBurn from Team Russia.
Thank you very much, Rachel. So ShaDowBurn, coming into this series, I think it's safe to say you guys are pitted to be the favorites of this matchup, but let's walk through how the series went. Temple of Anubis, it didn't really go your way.
Yeah, I think we fell apart a bit. Like we didn't expect like this aggression by French, and we tried to be a bit more passive there. And but like it was a bit delayed actually because we just didn't realize it countered us really well, and they like countered every nano boost ult with Reaper ult. It was so bad for us, and I know we just like figure out what we should do next map, and we just like play it next map. So.
Let me ask you on Temple, though. Did you feel really focused by the French team?
Yeah, sure. That's what I mean. Like, yeah.
And did you have to depend on the rest of your team to, I guess, adapt, come into the second map?
Yeah, like we tried to be like more as playing like more as a team and just like work together, and then just use nano boosts and stuff like later after fight. So that's why, yeah.
Okay, and then coming into the third map, it was tied to 1-1. Li장tawo, you guys lost the first point. What was going through your guys' heads there? Because you had to have been a little bit worried.
We just like realized we should use Mei more often. Like we just picked Mei, and we decided to use Genji so we could just counter their Reaper really well. And yeah, so yeah.
And speaking of Mei, I saw uNFixed playing Mei, you playing Mei. How was that decided who was playing Mei at any given situation?
It's like sometimes if we need McCree and Mei, we're just like playing me on Mei and uNFixed on McCree. And if you need, for example, Genji, we just swap. And I'm playing Reaper as well, like uNFixed on Mei, and I'm on Reaper and Genji. Yeah.
Okay, and did you expect France to come out swinging like this? Because I think most of the desk had a 2-0 for this.
Yeah, they actually surprised us. Like they played really well. Yeah.
So credit to D-Man to get that one right. Actually with the 2-1. But coming into the next match for you guys, you're playing against the winner of Spain and Finland. It's going to be a tough match. Who would you prefer to play?
I prefer actually to play against Finland. Like we know exactly which comms they're gonna run, so we could just like figure out what should we do. So yeah, we can't like expecting them what they're gonna play.
And looking at the other side of the bracket, South Korea, it's lingering there. People have that on their minds. Are you guys looking forward to potentially meeting them in the finals?